Hey guys, so I'm back with a new video and let's talk about A Quiet Place. I'm gonna try and keep this short and concise, but I'm just gonna warn you, I didn't exactly plan what I was gonna say, so as it has been happening a lot lately, I'm just gonna wing it. I do have a few thoughts on the film, which I know for sure that I'm gonna share, but I don't have a script. I don't have bullet points. I don't have anything. So bear with me. This will probably be short anyway, not only because when I don't have a script, I tend to be a little bit more concise, I guess. And because I do have to get to work, so yeah, I'm a bit of in a hurry. So yeah, let's just get to the video. So if you don't know what A Quiet Place Day 1 is about, it's basically the same premise as all the other Quiet Place films, but this one is about the first day that it happens. This one doesn't follow the same family because we have already seen how everything happened in the beginning with them in part 2. If you remember, the beginning of that film is their day 1. This is following a completely different set of characters. I think this is also set in a different location. So this film is set in New York City, which it's an interesting place to set the film because they even have an opening titles with saying that, I don't think this is really a spoiler, but it was a nice touch that I liked, saying that New York City is one of the loudest cities, and so if you know what A Quiet Place is about, you know that that's a big problem for everyone living in that city. So this one, same thing, a few monsters come out of the sky. They don't see, but they hear really well, and they come after you if they hear anything. As far as the cast goes, as I said, this follows a completely different cast. So this one stars Lupita Nyong'o, Joseph Quinn, Alex Wolff, another actor that I definitely know his name, but I'm gonna butcher it, so I'm just gonna leave a picture here. So it is a pretty good cast, but this one follows mainly Lupita Nyong'o's character and Joseph Quinn's, which if you've seen some of my previous videos and if you've seen my most anticipated, you know that this was definitely on my most anticipated list because of him. Not only I've always enjoyed the Quiet Place films, I think the first one is one of the best horror movies ever, but obviously I became a really big fan of Joseph Quinn because of Stranger Things, so I was really excited to see him in something else. So and this is a big budget film, a big film. And post that, let's get to my thoughts that I didn't really think them through. So going into this film, luckily I was able to avoid the trailers. So I didn't know basically anything. I knew what I told you. So I knew this was set in a city. I didn't exactly know this was set in New York City. I knew the cast. I knew that obviously this was day 1. But I didn't know anything about the characters and how their lives are before all of this happens. It's not huge, but that is a big thing that is different between this film and the original one. I think they are a different side of the same coin. They mirror each other in a way. It's the first film is mainly about birth, and this one is about death. I'm trying to be like really vague. I don't want to give anything away, but they have like some similarities that are different. So they touch on like opposite things, which I thought was really interesting. There's something in this one that is sort of lacking. When I went into this film, I saw one review, I think, that said that this was the best A Quiet Place film, and I don't agree with that, mainly because with the first film, that's still my favorite, you get really attached to the family, and there's that thing with family that with their family that you just really care about. And I mean, they are married, so the chemistry is there, obviously, but even with the kids, everything, like, you just care so much about that family and what they go through. And I don't know, I think that's still the best film, and I really like, and I really cared about them. With this film, you still care about them, definitely, but it's just different people that get together because of what's happening. The one character that I really, really liked and everyone liked, obviously, was the cat. So there's a cat that's a huge, huge part of this film, and he was so cute, and yeah, I really like that. There's also, they dive into the monsters a tiny little bit. You see some things that I don't think we've seen in the previous films, so that was interesting. But it's basically, as I said, the same thing. It's just these characters that you do care about. I'm not saying that you don't care about them. It's just not as impactful as like a family and kids. Obviously, you have the cat here, which you all also like really care about, and you are worried that something will happen to that cat. But yeah, it's the same premise, them getting away. There's like a destination to this film, which is also interesting and funny, but it's not as impactful as the previous films, I would say. It's still a really solid film. I really enjoyed it. It's really well put together as well. Visually looks really good. The jump scares got me like every time. I jumped out of my seat so many times with this film. I don't think I've jumped that many times in a theater experience, I don't think. So the jump scares are great, and they're not those like fake jump scares. They are like every time, apart from once, every time I jumped was because one of those creatures appeared. And that's where this like film really shines, is because everything is so tense. You can't make a sound, and yeah, when like one of those creatures appear, you will jump, definitely. There's also a few things that you already know because of the previous films that the characters in this one, they don't know. So that's interesting to see, because there's some things that they do that you just like screaming at them internally that like you can't do that or you can't do that. So yeah, there's some things that are interesting, having in mind that you know already like the rules of these creatures and they don't. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I hope I didn't ramble that much. I think it's a really good film. I think all of the Quiet Place films are really solid. And even though I think I like the original one, the first one, a little bit better, this like part 2 and this one, they are all like equally as good. And yeah, I guess let's move on to my scores. So overall, I'm giving A Quiet Place Day 1 4 out of 5. I think it's a pretty solid film. All of them are. I think I gave 4 out of 5 to all of them. I think then on a rewatch, I upped my score a little bit on the first one. But I think they are all really, really good. Cinematography, I'm gonna give this one a 3.5 out of 5. It's solid, and there's like 1 or 2 shots that are really pretty, but there's not that stylization that is present like in the first film. And originality, I mean, I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 5 because it's not really that original. It follows the same premise, like as I said, the creatures, you have to get away from them, you can't make a sound. It's just like tiny details about the backstory of the characters that make this one different. The setting, like the location, it's different, but the core concept is the same. So it wouldn't be fair to give like a really high score on originality. So yeah guys, these are my thoughts on A Quiet Place Day 1. I totally forgot to mention that the actors are all really good, and Lupita Nyong'o I think is the best, obviously. But yeah, so these are my thoughts. This is not, in my opinion, the best A Quiet Place film, but it's a really good one, it's a solid one. So yeah, if you've seen it already, let me know in the comments what you thought. Let me know if you think this one is your favorite, or if you prefer one of the previous ones. Let me know which one is your favorite out of the 3. And yeah, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!